And the sun sometimes gets mad. Ooh, mad sun. Hey guys, it's Terrie. How's your heart? How is your heart? Well. Welcome to video 2 of this series of energy. Hopefully you learned something from the first video because we're gonna build on that, okay? I'm about to show you some really funny ass artwork because I'm not an artist whatsoever. Isn't that right, Yossi? Mommy's not an artist? No, mommy doesn't art. But I'm hoping to sort of expand, also through this, expanding your consciousness and awareness as to, like, what is going on with us as human beings, right? We live on planet Earth currently in this now moment. Our souls, our spirit, our essence are wearing earth suits, right? Which means we are bound to earthly ways, no matter how much we like it or hate it. So we have to follow earth laws. And there are just ways of being. Once we leave our earth suit, then we'll be completely different. But in the meantime, if we can understand how energy works and why we are where we are in our life and why the things happen to us the way they do and why it takes for fucking ever to get to what we want, the money, the job, the relationship, the good health, the whatever it is, then we can navigate our experience in a way that will actually allow us to access our intuition so that those next steps can be revealed to us. So this is really the whole reason why I'm, even doing this series is bottom line is when you can regulate and balance your emotions, it means you're shifting your energy. In this way, you can access your intuition. Okay, and energy is science. I mean, all it is subatomic particles moving and behaving in certain ways. Energy is non-biased. It has no judgment. It doesn't care. We put the labels, we put the judgments on it, very egotistic. But that is what humans are. That is what humans do. And such is life. But if we can really understand that we are more than just our bodies and that there's actually a way that we can really, if you think about it, manipulate energy so that we feel better, then we can create the life that we want, right? Now, there is data and information like you couldn't believe on energy waves, which is why psychics and mediums and healers can actually help you. So, all we're doing is just tapping into your energy and we're reading that information off of those data waves using our physical senses, right? So our senses are interpreting the information off of those data waves. So in the first video series, well, y'all know what I'm talking about. I was showing you what energy waves are, why it takes time, because there's space in between, high vibrations, low vibrations, and the consciousnesses and awarenesses that affect the energy. Well, today I want to go a little bit further. Boom! Do you love my artwork, you guys? I feel like I should, autograph this. I'm a horrible artist. Horrible. But what I want to show you is EMF, why it's important to us as humans to navigate our way through this experience. So as we all know, we all have an energy system, okay? In the next video, I'm gonna go over the human energy system. But before we do that, it's important for everybody to just understand that energy exists. It cannot be destroyed. It can only be transformed, transmuted, okay? So it never goes away, which is why when we leave the human earth suit, we still exist as energy because we humans are made of both physical and non-physical. So just because you take the physical part of it away doesn't mean that there's still no energy left. There is, it's just transformed into a different way or a different form. It's not even necessarily a form, but it just is, right? So let's look at the KP index, the Schumann resonance, and then our own energy field. So we have our own energy field, and we have our different consciousnesses, states of mind, our feelings, which will be an indicating system to how our vibration and how our frequency is. And it gives us a pretty good idea of what the reality around us will be reflecting and what we're bringing into us and what we're experiencing, okay? But there are other energy sources as well that integrate, touch. It's called entrainment, where they kind of mesh and they synchronize to each other. When two different fields or more than one field come together, and then they start acting all the same, right? So energy fields, EMF, electromagnetic fields, influence other electromagnetic fields, right? So let's take the sun. We have the sun. You love my art. Well, the sun has its own energy field. That's what this pink stuff represents here, are the energy fields, right? So this is what's going on around the sun. What the KP index does is it sort of takes the temperature of the energy of what's going on with the sun, and the sun sometimes gets mad. Ooh, mad sun. And it spews solar flares. That's what these red and brown things are for. So it kind of like vomits up sun rays, really strong energy emissions of light, like, right? So, and when there's a lot of it or it's heavy, it'll cause a geomagnetic storm. That's what it's called, geomagnetic storm. And there's an index, I believe, don't quote me. I'm not a fucking scientist. I just like this. I love science shit, and I love making it edible and making it like matching it as to just to kind of understand why the woo-woo works, which is why I'm now coining the term wooyance. Okay? I'm a wooyer. Wooyantist. A wooyantist? Yeah, I like that. I'm a wooyantist now. So the geomagnetic field, there's the solar flames explode, and it now causes a geomagnetic storm depending, and the index, it'll go from like 0 to 9, I believe, and depending how strong, you know, it'll shoot off its flares. Typically what happens is it will affect the Earth's, you like my Earth? The Earth's magnetic field, right? So it's shooting all of this light. So you have one magnetic field affecting another magnetic field, right? Now, the Earth, hi Yossi, you like the Earth? So what's happening is the Schumann resonance is it measures the Earth's electromagnetic field, the Earth's energy. So the Schumann resonance will affect do you like how I put her heart there? I didn't have yellow for blonde, so I had to do green, but there's her heart, right? So how's your heart today, little one? Well, it's really being affected by the Schumann resonance because that goddamn KP index is out of control. So therefore we have, when the Schumann resonance is high, and I have pictures so that you can see what the KP index looks like, and also what the Schumann resonance looks like. And my editor is magic, and I leave that to him because I don't know what the fuck, right? So everybody's got their role. Everybody's got their role in life. That is not mine. So we have the Schumann resonance. We can call it the Earth's heartbeat, but it's Mother Earth's field, okay? So if we have the solar flares, the geomagnetic storms affecting Earth's energy, guess what? Because we are Earthlings, we are humans, guess what? It's gonna affect us, right? So the higher the Schumann resonance, it does mean that it's high, fast moving waves. You guys remember this from the previous video? Slow and low moving waves, they're slower. But high, fast vibration, so the higher the Schumann resonance, the more it's gonna affect us. And we're gonna feel it in our system, right? So if we're out of alignment within our own system, and then we're bombarded with not only a KP index and a Schumann resonance and our own, I mean, that's like a recipe that could potentially be a hot mess, causing anxiety, causing frustration, causing anger, where we could just lose our shit. So it's really important to understand that when you are experiencing these lower frequencies of anger, shame, guilt, sadness, whatever, that it's an indicator. It's not an indication of whether you're a bad person or whether you need to, I don't know, apologize to some. I mean, that's judgment. When you're having those low density frequencies, those consciousness, those states of awareness, it's just an indication of where your energy is, and you can change it. So you're not a bad person. You're not broken. Yeah, you may have moments of depression, moments of anxiety, but it's just an indication. And when you are aware that the Schumann resonance is high, then you can learn to balance and regulate and manage your energy. Makes sense? So energy fields affect other energy fields. I have my handy dandy notes here. Yeah, so I mean, since we live on her, we live on Mother Earth, and we live within her field, we're gonna be affected. And she's affected by the sun. So, this is a lot that's going on, so you have to also remember that there is a space. It can take time for you if you are having those low density frequencies. Let's say the Schumann resonance is out of control and you're like angry, right? It could take some time for those energies in motion, the emotion, to alleviate, because there's a space between, and this is all in waves, right? It takes time for a slower wave to move faster, right? So to go from anger to acceptance, even, it's gonna take time. So, it's super, super important to understand how energetic fields affect other energetic fields. I'm gonna give you an example. I don't know if has this ever happened to you, where you meet somebody and immediately with that, like you don't think, you just take a step back, right? Something's off, you're not comfortable, you don't feel safe. That is your electromagnetic field repelling their electromagnetic field. It's not a match, it's not attracting. Something is off. You walk into someone's home and you feel uncomfortable, right? Your fast frequencies, because you're at a higher vibration, again, that doesn't mean you're better than anybody else. It's just an indication of where your energy is noticing that the energy system that you're in is just a slower moving frequency. So they're not matching, and it's recognized, right, by your own energy. So it's really, really important to understand how all of this works, right? And when we can take judgment out of the equation, we can just see that this is just energy, and this is just the way energy works, right? So you have these energy healers, for example, that will help extract or take out, like in pranic healing, they will take out lower density frequencies, because again, the slower and lower a frequency moves, the more it's going to be physical. So it's going to show up in your physical body, right? So if you want to, let's say you have chronic issues, or you have cancer, God forbid, or anything like that, that's a physical thing. So those waves are moving slower. So it's gonna take time for your body to recuperate, for your body to heal. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's just the way energy is. Because again, whenever there's space between two things, unhealthy and you want to get to healthy, there's a space. It's going to take time to close that gap, right? So again, stop judging shit, right? If you're feeling sad, that's okay. You are not the sadness. It's just that that energy is showing up in those sad frequencies, right? However, being human, we do have to experience things because the divine is using us, our physicality, our container, to experience itself. So it's actually a really holy thing to be in a depressed state, to have a heartbreak, to get angry, to be physically ill. It's a very holy, divine state to be in, because you are allowing source, creator, God, goddess, whoever your higher power is, to experience. And you are giving that gift through your own divinity to the divine. I hope that makes sense. Anyways, hopefully this helps you understand. So like oftentimes on Instagram, I'm like, heads up, buttercup, Schumann resonance is high. So that's like an alert to you to go, oh, okay, I may not be sleeping well tonight. Again, it affects the physical system, right? And that's just because we are energy and everything is energy. So energy affects energy, because that's what everything is. It's just energy. It's just some energy is physical and some energy is non-physical. It's that simple. All right, you guys, if any of this video you liked, you resonated with, or you learned from, please like it. I would totally appreciate it. And don't forget to stay connected to yourself, to your friends and family, and of course to me. And I'll see ya on the flip side.